Hey brewers, welcome back to BKA Brewing. Today it's brew day and we're brewing a New World Pale Ale. So for this one, I'm trying to base it on a newly found beer that I'm in love with, and that's called 4 Pines New World Pale Ale. I've done a bit of researching and I found that they use Citra, Galaxy and Nelson Sauvin. So I'm going to give it a crack today. So for the grain bill on this one, I'm going 5 kilograms of the Voyager Compass pale malt, 750 grams of wheat malt to add a little bit of haze to the finished beer, and 150 grams of acidulated malt. Now that's just going to help me lower that pH level to a reasonable level. I'm doing a huge hop addition in this one. With the Galaxy, I'm doing 95 grams. With Citra, we're going 100 grams and 50 grams overall of the Nelson Sauvin. Now I haven't used Nelson Sauvin before, so I'm very eager to throw that in and see how it goes, taste and aroma. Really hoping that this combination gives us some juicy citrus, some juicy melons and grapefruits and passion fruit, and a little bit of white wine there at the end from the Nelson. Yeast, I'm going to use the Mangrove Jack's M44 US West Coast yeast. We're going to be pitching that at about 20 degrees tomorrow after I finish the brew today. Really hoping that this combination gives us some juicy citrus, some juicy melons and grapefruits and passion fruit. Combination of the fruit forward hops, the light to medium grassy bitterness and the light to medium body as well should provide me with an ultra refreshing pale ale. We're going to do a 21 litre batch today. So we'll add 21 litres of water into the Diybeer and set the target temperature to 71 degrees for our strike temperature. Then we'll add the 5 kilograms of the Voyager Atlas malt, the 750 grams of the wheat malt, and finally the 150 grams of the acidulated malt. So once the grain goes in, we're going to do a 60-minute mash at 68 degrees. Now I'm liking this temperature at the moment because it gives me really good fermentability and it also leaves a little bit of body behind. After the 60-minute mash, I'm going to raise the temperature to 75 degrees for a 10-minute mash out. And just make sure that I extract any of those remaining sugars that are left in the malt pipe. Now, because we only added 21 litres of strike water, I'm going to use 9 litres as a sparge. So I've just had that sitting on the side. I've also brought that up to 75 degrees. And then I'm just going to sparge over the top of the Diybeer, over the top of the malt pipe and the grain bed there. Once the sparge is all finished, we'll be going for the 60-minute boil. Now with the 60-minute boil, we will be adding the Galaxy, the Citra and the Nelson. At the 30-minute mark, we'll add in 5 grams of Galaxy hops, and that's hopefully going to provide some mild bitterness. Then in the last 5 minutes, we're going to add in our Aroma hops. So we've got the 20 grams of Citra, the 20 grams of Galaxy, and the 10 grams of the Nelson Sauvin. Now I'm adding these in the last 5 minutes because I really want to extract as much aroma as I can out of those, as much flavour without impacting the bitterness too much. Now that the brew's finished, to bring that down to pitching temperature, I'm going to put that into a hot cube. I'm going to put that hot cube in the chest freezer below me here. That's the temperature on that is already fairly low, like nice and refrigerated, nice and cold. So I'm going to put the cube in the chest freezer. I'll come back tomorrow and hopefully the wort in the cube will be around about that 20-degree mark. So we're now at day 2. The wort is sitting at 20 degrees because it's been sitting in that temperature controlled chest freezer all night. I have already siphoned the wort from the hot cube into the pressure fermenter. Now it is ready for us to pitch the Mangrove Jack's M44 yeast. Then we'll put the pressure fermenter together, put it in the chest freezer for a couple of days until we're ready to do the dry hop. For the dry hop on this one, it's going to be huge. We are going for full fruity flavour. Going to add 80 grams of Citra, 70 grams of Galaxy and 40 grams of Nelson Sauvin on about day 3. So I'm specifically doing it on day 3 because at the moment I'm really liking the flavours that I'm extracting when the krausen is nice and high, and fermentation is just kicking off. So we're calling this one the New World Pale Ale. The starting gravity on this was 1.047 and the final gravity was 1.006. That's produced a final ABV of 5.4%. So the total IBUs for this beer is 22. Now that mostly comes down to the fact that we added the Galaxy hops in at 30 minutes to achieve that mild bitterness. Appearance wise, depending on the light that you can see behind me, I'm getting like a straw to golden kind of colour. Bit hard with the condensation on the glass, but that's the colour I'm getting. The haze is obviously coming from that late dry hop. That fluffy white head, it's just lingering around there. It's been a few minutes now since I poured that sample off. I'm going to put that down to the large addition of the wheat malt. On the aroma, that's just bursting with tropical fruits and citrus from the Galaxy and the Citra. Now on the nose there, a little bit of grape, which, oh, that's different. Yeah, a little bit of grape, which I think is definitely coming from that Nelson. That smells great actually. It's vibrant, it's inviting, and the aroma is really just jumping out of the glass and hitting me in the face. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Oh, on the palate, that is juicy and refreshing. Lots of mangoes, orange, passion fruit. The grape smells there, but not the flavour. I think it's a little bit more, I'm not going to say white wine, but maybe something like lychees or gooseberries or something like that. Oh, it's very light. Malty too. Nice and malty, but light. Sessionable. But because it's got that light character, the hops are just really, really shining through. That's a really good pale ale. Overall, this is exactly what I was aiming to produce. Juicy, sessionable, light and crisp. I could drink 5 of them and still want more. But also getting a lot of those fruity flavours that you would expect to find. Probably the only thing for me is maybe the colour's a little bit not what I was expecting. I was expecting, like, it's golden, but I was expecting to go a little bit more towards that kind of straw colour. I think maybe that could be down to the base malt that I used. Maybe I could go a little bit lighter to try and achieve that next time I make this beer. I might even in a future video, if people are interested, putting this side by side to a 4 Pines New World Pale Ale and just seeing the differences between the aroma, the appearance, and of course the taste. Now, if you enjoyed this recipe and this brew day as much as I did, please be sure to like the video, it means a lot, and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on future homebrewing videos like this. Cheers guys, and happy brewing.